Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview of our Premier League fixture tomorrow afternoon against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Goodison Park. We're going to talk about the game today. We're going to give my predicted start and 11. Obviously, it's been a little bit hectic over the last couple of days in terms of Everton. Obviously, we played Lincoln on Wednesday, so we had to do the game review to that, which was yesterday. So we are doing the game preview to this game on a Saturday afternoon. So hopefully you are enjoying your weekend so far. I assume a lot of you have just watched Manchester United being draw to Southampton away from home. So yeah, this is definitely a weekend where again we can pick up some points and gain an advantage on teams that are around us and teams that, you know, we should be looking at trying to overtake this season. Obviously, Wolves are another one of those teams that are going to be trying to gain an advantage over the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea and teams like that as well. Obviously, Chelsea haven't played yet. So it's a big game for both clubs tomorrow, and it's a big game for Everton Football Club. And I actually think that it's come at a real good time for us, especially after, obviously, the Lincoln game on Wednesday night. Wouldn't have been ideal if we were going into this game off the back of the loss to Aston Villa last week. So I think the Lincoln game come at a fantastic time and allowed us to put in a decent performance and allowed us to obviously score 4 goals and then come out of it and come into this game with a little bit more confidence and, you know, our heads held high a little bit. Obviously, like we spoke about yesterday, there was a couple of defensive frailties in that Lincoln game. However, for me, I think the defence will be back to the usual back four that we're used to seeing this season. Yerry Mina coming back in and Seamus Coleman coming back in as well. I just hope that Marco Silva keeps the front three as they were on Wednesday night, because I think they were all absolutely fantastic, especially Alex Iwobi and Moise Keane, who obviously come in for their full debut. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on tomorrow's game. Are you confident? Are you not? Give your reasons why, of course. Listen, for me, just off the bat, I am confident. Like I said, I've got a lot more confidence now after Wednesday's performance. We lifted our heads up. We went out there and we got the victory. Granted, it was against the League One team. Granted, it was against a team that, you know, on paper we should be beating anyway. However, still doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed win. Still doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to obviously get through to the next round. So for me, listen, I am confident coming into this game. Wolves are a really good side, a side that have played well so far this season, haven't won a Premier League game yet. However, obviously have been doing well in the Europa League. I think they beat City, you know, over 2 legs as well on Thursday and then the week before as well. So listen, they're a decent team. We know what they bring from last season. Absolutely obliterated us at Goodison Park last season as well. Teared us to bits. And then obviously we played them at the first opening game of the season last season at their ground and took a draw away from it. So they're a decent side. They've got some decent players. They do play counter-attacking football, and they're going to be coming at Sigurdsson Park thinking that they can get the 3 points as well, because it's a big game for both sides. Like I said, Wolves haven't picked up 3 points yet in the Premier League, so they're going to be wanting to get points on the board, especially with the struggles of playing Europa League football as well. And it's a big game for us. We need to win. Obviously, we've had our little blip in the Aston Villa game. We've had the game where we you know, we were absolutely awful and we didn't manage to pick up any points, so we need to get the ball running. Now obviously we've got the confidence boost from Wednesday, and now we need to go out there and we need to, you know, put in a top performance and prove that we are the best team outside the top 6, because we said this last season, we said it going into this season, you know, between the likes of Wolves, Everton, you know, West Ham were in the conversation, Leicester as well. You know, one of these teams, one of us needs to prove that we are the best out of the rest, and we're the team that are going to push that top 6. And for us, it's a big chance to do that tomorrow, and it's a big game for us. You know, obviously we've got everybody fit other than Jean-Philippe Gabam, and Marco Silva confirmed that yesterday. So you know, a big squad to work with, and hopefully a side that Marco Silva can put out that can go out there and get the 3 points. Hazrat says, "Hi Cam, you okay?" Yes, I'm not doing too bad. He says, "When did it start?" And yeah, sorry, I was a little bit late. I was around 5 minutes late to the stream. I was watching the end of the Manchester United game and then didn't realise how much I had to do before actually starting streaming. So I do apologise about that one. Jonathan says, "Hi Cam." Hi Jonathan, hope you are doing well. Chris says, "Hi mate, can't stay long. I'll be in Burnley soon for the game. Good luck in your game tomorrow." Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming along as well. Kadir says, "Hi mate, Wolves play counter-attack." They do. And Hazrat says, "Hope we can keep the clean sheets going at the old lady up the Everton Toffees." Yeah, listen, I'm not going to talk about obviously the clean sheets record and the fact that we haven't conceded a goal in quite a long time at Goodison Park, because the last time we started to talk about all those sorts of statistics, we got absolutely turned over by Villa last week. So I'm not going to mention any statistics. I'm not going to mention any records. For me, Marco Silva doesn't need to be looking at that stuff either. He needs to be looking ahead and looking at tomorrow's game, looking at the side that Wolves are likely to put out. Obviously, like we said, they did play Europa League football on Thursday. I believe it was their home ground though, so it wasn't too much travelling involved. However, still will have a knock-on effect on the fitness of the players, obviously playing in a competitive game just a couple of days ago. So realistically, the advantages on Everton, obviously, it's at Goodison Park. We've come off the back of a really, really big win on Wednesday night in terms of the performance and in terms of, obviously the fact that we managed to pick our heads up, especially after, Lincoln scored that second goal, like we said in the game review yesterday. I've seen Everton teams before today that, would have conceded a goal like that and the heads would have just totally dropped and they'd have just gone, oh, well, what's the point? Whereas we didn't. We thought, you know what, we're playing well in this game of football, we're the dominant side, we deserve the win, so we're going to go out there and we're going to make sure that we do get the win, and that's exactly what we need to do tomorrow afternoon as well. Jonathan says we need to mark Ruben Neves. We certainly do. And Chris says, I think Wolves won't be as good as last season because Europa League distraction. Yeah, exactly. We mentioned this sort of before the season. We mentioned this before even the fixtures were released, obviously, with Wolves playing Europa League football. And I don't necessarily think it's a Europa League football. For me, it's finishing in that 7th position or winning the FA Cup. It's not necessarily Europa League, the competition. It's when you've got to play through the qualifiers. We've seen how it affected Everton a couple of years ago under Ronald Koeman. When you have to play the Europa League qualifiers, which means you have to start playing football in the sort of mid to end of July. And, you've got to be going all around Europe. You've got to be going to crazy teams. You've seen us. We went over to Croatia sort of the back end of July, right before the start of the Premier League season. And it really did have a knock-on effect on our season. And it's a known fact that finishing 7th and having to go into the Europa League qualifiers does have a knock-on effect on your season. It happened with Burnley as well a couple of seasons ago. So for me, listen, they have got that distraction. I think they've still got a fantastic set of players. I think the players are still really, really quality. Obviously, they proved that against Manchester United a couple of weeks ago. But for me, listen, we need to just go out there and prove that we're the better side, and we need to go out there and prove that, we're the side that wants it more, because I think that's what it could come down to tomorrow. It could come down to who wants it more, purely and simply. And we need to prove that that is us. Chris says Wolves haven't got a big squad either. No, they haven't got a massive, massive squad, but the players that they have got are genuinely quality. So I think, we need to make sure that we don't let those players sort of play to their sense, because if we do let the likes of Ruben Neves, if we do let the likes of obviously Diego Jota play to the strengths, then we could be in trouble. I'm just going to tweet today's team out so everybody knows that we are live. Bear with me just a couple of seconds. Doing it on my computer today. Usually tweet the team out on my phone, but I'm going to be doing it on my computer purely because my phone's on charge over there. You didn't need to know that, but I thought I'd tell you anyway. Give me just 2 seconds. We are now live. Join us here. There you go. Happy days. Shut that down. And that's it. Back to the stream. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on tomorrow's game, obviously, in the comment section down below. We'll talk about my predicted starting 11 in just a second. Listen, I'm confident, because I'm always confident going into these games of football. I'm always confident going up against teams that are quite likely matched to Everton Football Club. Obviously, Wolves again are in that sort of struggling position if they're not quite good enough to break into that top 6, but they're obviously better than the majority of the teams in the rest of the league, and I think we're in that position as well at the minute. So it's a big, big game for us, and it's a big, big 3 points on the line for us, and it's one of those games that we speak about every single season, and that we say we could be sitting here looking back on at the end of the season, looking back on this game and going, oh, if only we'd have picked 3 points up there, if only we'd have, scored that opportunity, if only a Wolves to put that one away, again, just using as an example. But these are the type of games that you will look back on, so we need to make sure that we go out. There's no errors, there's no messing about. Like I said, we create the opportunities and we put them in the back of the net, and that's why I personally think that the likes of Alex Iwobi and Moise Kean need to be starting in this game, and that's why I'd revert to the same back four as well and not keep Sidibe or Holgate in there. But I suppose we'll go into talking about my predicted starting 11 straight away. So I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal. That one is a given, of course, as per usual. I've changed the defence up a bit to the defence that we've seen on Wednesday night. I've gone for Luca Dean at left back. Listen, there's no need to discuss why Luca Dean's in the starting 11. He's absolutely unbelievable. I'll stick with me point in saying he's the best left back in this league, because I genuinely do think he is. I've gone for Yerry Mina and Michael Keane at centre back. Obviously Michael Keane staying in there, did play on Wednesday night against Lincoln, played okay, but I'd be putting Yerry Mina straight back in there. I think obviously we see Mason Holgate on Wednesday night. I didn't think he was too bad, however he was caught out a couple of times, and for me, I just don't think he's ready to be a Premier League centre half at this minute. I think he's been caught a couple of times defensively, and I just think his awareness needs a little bit of work. So for me, Yerry Mina comes back in. He's had a rest now. He's had a little bit of time to sit out, and obviously get his fitness back, so he comes straight back into the team. Had a really, really good start to the season, obviously alongside Michael Keane. Other than that Villa game, the pair of them, were fantastic for the opening 2 games of the season. I'd then go for Seamus Coleman at right back, quite similarly to the Mason Holgate situation with Jabril Sidibe, obviously coming for his debut on Wednesday night. Didn't think he'd done too poorly in my opinion. Again, he was caught, he was off the pace a little bit, especially, obviously with their first goal within literally a matter of seconds. He was caught on that right hand side, but I think he grew into the game, and I don't think he done necessarily poorly. However, I think Seamus Coleman's got that advantage in terms of experience, in terms of knowing the league, and obviously in terms of fitness as well. He's played more games this season, and obviously he's the club captain as well. So I would expect Seamus Coleman to come back in for this game, and I would expect Yerry Mina to come back in. And then for me, that's our best defensive lineup. It's the best we could put out, and it's proven to work at times towards the back end of last season, and obviously this season as well. Disregarding the Aston Villa game, which was an absolute joke. We were fantastic defensively against Palace, and obviously against Watford as well. So for me, that is the back 4 or back 5, including Jordan Pickford. In midfield, I've gone for Fabian Delph, I've gone for Andre Gomez, and I've gone for Gylfi Sigurdsson. Now for me, Fabian Delph started the game fantastically on Wednesday. He was very dominant. You could see his leadership qualities. He was bossing players about. He was moving players. He was telling players what to do. Now he faded towards the sort of the back end of the second half, just before he come off, and I think again that was probably because of fitness issues. Obviously Fabian Delph, new to the system, new to the club, but not only that, has already spent a couple of weeks out injured this season, already straight off the bat. So again, I think his fitness started to pick up with him a little bit, and his lack of Premier League game time this season started to pick up with him. But I think from the off, I think he was fantastic. He was winning the ball back. He was, like I said, his leadership qualities in that midfield. He was very, very dominant, and he really was commanding that midfield for me, and that's why Fabian Delph should stay in this team, in my opinion. I've gone for Andre Gomez next to him. Now, obviously, Andre Gomez was given a rest on Wednesday night. We see Morgan Schneiderlin in there. For me, I just don't think Morgan Schneiderlin's good enough on the ball, especially to not play a team like Wolves. So Wolves are a team that are going to try and counter-attack us. Wolves are a team that are going to try and run at us, and they're a team that are going to try and break us down quickly. And I just don't think Morgan Schneiderlin's got that, either the pace or the midfield prowess that Andre Gomez has to be able to deal with that. Now, Andre Gomez hasn't necessarily got the pace, and he doesn't do an awful lot of running around either. But if you've got Fabian Delph in there, who will do the running around, who will win the ball back, who will put the the shift in, and you've got Andre Gomez who can take the ball down and can obviously dictate the midfield. We've seen him score an absolute cracker against Wolves at Goodison Park last season. The only positive about that game of football was that goal. So in my opinion, I'll put Andre Gomez back in, like I said, a little bit like the Yerry Mina situation. He's had a little bit of a rest now. He's been given time to sit out. He's been given time to recuperate. He's got the quality that we all know he has. He had a poor game against Aston Villa, but again, like we said, that is just a one-off for Andre Gomez. He's an absolutely fantastic midfielder. He's so good on the ball, and he's brilliant when he's in pressured situations as well, and that's exactly what Wolves are going to do to us tomorrow afternoon. Wolves are going to make sure that every time one of our players has the ball, there's 2 or 3 of their players that are surrounding him. There's 2 or 3 of their players that are trying to sort of get to him. So for me, in my opinion, listen, Andre Gomez comes straight back in, and Fabian Delph keeps his place as well, because again, we seen on last Friday against Crystal Palace, the partnership between Morgan Schneider and Andre Gomez doesn't work. There's not enough pace, there's not enough agency, there's not enough intensity in that midfield too, and obviously Tom Davies didn't get his opportunity on Wednesday for whatever reason. So for me, Fabian Delph and Andre Gomez in that midfield. I've gone for Gylfi Sigurdsson in the 10. Wasn't very, very active against obviously Lincoln. Did score a penalty, a fantastic penalty as well. I haven't been shy away from criticising Gylfi Sigurdsson's penalties in the past, so I think it's only fair to praise them when he puts in a fantastic one, and that's exactly what that was on Wednesday night. I think he grew with confidence as that went on as well. Obviously, when he slotted that one, you could see in his face instantly that he needed it. You could see in his face instantly that he needed that confidence boost. He then went on to provide a fantastic assist. Near enough fantastic assist. He put a fantastic ball in for Cenk Tosun to head down for Alex Iwobi's goal. So he was getting involved again. Like I said, I think he'll have grown with confidence after Wednesday's game. I think the whole team will have grown with confidence, to be honest, and that's why we so badly needed it. In my opinion, we badly needed that win on Wednesday night, and not just that win, that performance, because you could see, at the end of the Villa game, and even at times at the start of the Lincoln game, you could see that the Reds were down, the confidence was lacking a little bit, and as soon as we started to realise that we were the much better team on Wednesday and that we were going to win that game of football, and the quality started to shine through, and obviously the excitement of Alex Iwobi, the excitement of Fabian Delph, the excitement of Moise Keane, you could see the players' confidence was growing, and the likes of Gylfi Sigurdsson was affected by that. So for me, Gylfi Sigurdsson starts in that number 10 roll. We'll talk about the front three in just a second. Let me just dive back into the live comments and see what everybody is saying. Where are we? Jeff says, alright, Cam, feeling fairly positive about tomorrow. Richie, Iwobi and Siggy scoring the other day should really help to settle him down nicely. Yes, 100%. Listen, spot on. Obviously, Iwobi's goal will mean a massive amount to him as well. It'll give him a load of confidence and it'll give him a load of obviously positivity leading in to this game of football. Like we've just mentioned, the same with Gylfi Sigurdsson and Richarlison as well. Listen, again, it's going to seem a little bit hypocritical when I talk about my front three, because I sat here last week and I said Richarlison needs to come out, he needs a rest, he's clearly not fit, and I don't think he is fit, but there's obviously a reason as to why Marco Silva's persistent on playing him. There's obviously a reason as to why Marco Silva wants to keep him in the team, and for me, you know, Richarlison might be as fit as he can be. It might just be a confidence issue, and you could see how much that goal meant to him on Wednesday night. You could see the celebration, and that might be all he needed. He might have just needed that first goal, he might have just needed that breakthrough, and he might be okay. Now obviously we'll see him tomorrow afternoon, I dare say, in some capacity, whether it's from the start or off the bench, and we'll be able to see if it, you know, if his fitness is really lacking. But it could have just been a confidence issue as to why he hasn't been fantastic over the last few weeks. He could have just needed that goal, and he's got that now. Obviously, like I said, there's a reason Marco Silva keeps picking him. Richarlison's not going to turn around and say, I don't want to play. So they both of them must deem, you know, and fit to start games of football. So in my opinion, that's why I've put him Richarlison straight back in there again. Like I said, it was a little bit of worry about his fitness, and we'll see again tomorrow whether, you know, he has got real fitness issues, which is obviously understandable considering the summer he's had. But for me, listen, he just needs to be in there, especially after that goal on Wednesday night against Lincoln. Bear with me just a second, little bit unprofessional this, but I'm just going to turn my phone on silent because it's, you know, I don't get a text all day. I literally sit here all day on my own, no text, no one's asked. As soon as I start streaming, loads of people want to text me and speak to me, but they can go away because this is more important at the minute. So yeah, do apologise about that one, but just saves the beeping going off because it's doing my head in, so it must be absolutely doing your heads in. Please do leave the stream a like if you're enjoying it so far, and subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. I think we're 50 subscribers away from 800, so get the video shared across all your social media. That'd be massively appreciated. Show it to your mate, show it to your family, show it to your dog, show it to anyone. It'll be really appreciative, and please do leave a like if you're all enjoying so far. Kadir says, what's the latest situation in Schenk, or last situation in Schenk? So Cenk Tosun's come out a couple of times over the summer, obviously discussing rumours that have been linking him away from Everton Football Club, linking him with a move back to Turkey. He's come out and said he's happy at Everton, he wants to really make it work. He's obviously just had a newborn baby born over in Liverpool, so he's happy here and he wants to stay here. I think Cenk Tosun done really well when he come on Wednesday. He provided a fantastic assist. Again, we spoke about it yesterday in the game review. We said that a lot of strikers in that situation would have went for goal themselves. A lot of strikers in that situation would have tried to get on the score sheet, but Cenk Tosun doesn't. He sees Alex Iwobi's free, he sees Alex Iwobi's in a better situation than he is, so he pulls it back and he allows Alex Iwobi to get the goal. And for me, that's absolutely fantastic play by Cenk Tosun. So I really want Cenk Tosun to to have more of an involvement in this team and in this squad going forward. I don't necessarily think he's particularly good enough to start week in, week out. I just don't, not that I don't think he's good enough, I just don't think he fits into the system that we play, but I think he's more than good enough to come off the bench and be a danger man off the bench. Jonathan says, I'm nervous about it, Wolves are good, it depends how we start. Yes, spot on, Wolves are a decent side, they are a decent side, but at the end of the day, we know we can be a really good side as well when we want to be. So for me, we need to go out there and prove that, you know, we are the better side. Jeff says, Cenk staying here. Yep, he certainly is. Good Soul says, alright Cam, we need to quicken up the pace in midfield instead of the slow sideways passing out to the wings. Hopefully having Delph instead of Snadden will quicken things up. Exactly, and that's my sort of calculation behind putting Delph in there next to Anze Gomez. I don't think Anze Gomez and Morgan Schneiderlin work together because, like you've said there, I just don't think there's enough pace whatsoever, and I don't really want to see Delph and Schneiderlin next to each other because I then don't think there's enough quality in that midfield too, especially to play a team like Wolves who've got a load of quality in their midfield. You look at the likes of Jean Martino, Ruben Neves as well. So for me, I think the perfect combination, or the best combination that we could put together, would be Andre Gomez and Fabian Delph. Obviously, you know, it's not ideal that we've got Jean-Philippe Gbamin out. It's not ideal that we sold Edzesa Gahanaga either, because they are the type of players that, you know, instill that pace and instill that agency into that midfield too. But while we haven't got that, and we're not going to get that back, well, we're not going to get Gabamon back for, you know, a couple of months, and we're definitely not going to get a Disagana back, unfortunately. We need to be making use of what we've got, and for me, Fabian Delph, you know, adds an amount of intensity and amount of agency that you can sort of play along with, and if you put him next to a genuinely quality footballer in Andre Gomez, I think they can form a decent partnership. I just don't think Morgan Stadlin, I don't think he's fast enough, and I don't think he's good enough on the ball either to work well with Fabian Delph, in my opinion, especially against Premier League sides like Wolves. Mitchell says, football is terrible, I understand that completely, but the kid over the park put up record-breaking numbers assist-wise and won the best competition you can win, mate. I don't know whether you're talking about Robertson and me saying about Digne. That's fair, and obviously I've got a load of Liverpool mates and they always tell me that, you know, they think it's Robertson, I think it's Dean. Listen, it's just an opinion for me. Jeff says it's spot on. He says, Mitchell, if Dean had Salah and Firmino and Mane in the side, I can assure you his assist will be higher too. A cross is only as good as the person on the end of it, and I think that's a really, really good point, to be honest with you. You look at the side that Robinson's playing in, and it's, you know, it's obviously got much more quality in than the side that Dean's playing in, and it's just personal opinion. I just think when you put player to player and you compare them both and you take the, you know, the teams that they're playing in away from them, I think Dean's a better player in my opinion. But it's all opinionated, and, you know, if you think Robinson is, then that's absolutely fair enough. Hazrat says, yes, would defo be a lot better assist wise. Yeah, I agree. Where are we? Mitchell says, yeah, mate, I understand the argument. Dean is class. He was signed by the second best team in the world, but you could say Grant Hanley will be good next to Van Dijk. It's not valid. That's fair enough, that's fair enough. Where are we? I've missed a couple of comments there. Good Soul says, do you think Tosin can play a part in this squad coming off the bench? Personally, I think he can. He offers something different. If played in the right way, he also has shown a great attitude. Yeah, spot on. His attitude, that's one thing I'd say. His attitude is absolutely unbelievable. You cannot fault the attitude of Cenk Tosin throughout this entire summer. Obviously, knowing that we were in for a striker, knowing that towards the back end of last season he wasn't even the main striker, you know, the likes of obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who again himself needs to improve his goal scoring ability. He was ahead of him in the pecking order, and you cannot fault Cenk Tosin's work rate and Cenk Tosin's attitude in terms of his situation at Everton Football Club. And for me, I agree, Good Soul, I do think he can play some part coming off the bench, and he's seen that on Wednesday night. We've seen his footballing capabilities and his footballing brain in obviously getting that assist for Alex Iwobi, and I do think he can play a part in the team. I think he's a danger man, and I think he's a good player to have coming off the bench. I just don't think he fits quite into the system for him to start from the start of the game, in my opinion. Hazard says yes, definitely off the bench, and Jeff says agreed, he offers something different. He does. Where are we? Hazard says could also play well if changed the formation, but don't think we would do that. Yeah, he would. Like I said, if we changed our entire system to suit Cenk Tosin, then I think he'd be a decent striker in this league. I just don't think he's got enough pace to play the system that we currently play, and I can't see Marco Silva changing the system whatsoever. The only way I could see Marco Silva changing this system is if he went with 4-4-2 and 2 up front, and for me, I think Moise Kean would be one of those strikers, and I think either Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison would be the other. I still don't think Cenk Tosin to be that one, but I think he can definitely offer us something off the bench. Jeff says that's not the same. I'm saying that Dean's expected assist was 6.5 against Robinson's 5.7, but those brilliant deliveries were being wasted. Fair enough. It's a valid point. Everton FC the best says, hey, sorry I took a while. No problem, mate, no problem. And he says, well, I love your starting 11. I will be well happy with that. Yeah, spot on. Me too, mate. Me too. We'll go into talking about the forwards in a second. And as it says, yes, good team up the F and Blues. Spot on, mate. Spot on. So yeah, let's move into talking about the front three. Like I said, for me, Gylfi Sigurdsson obviously will have taken a lot of confidence from that penalty on Wednesday night, as will have Fabian Delph from his performance, and obviously Andre Gomez got a little bit of a rest as well, so he should be fine fitness wise. From three, I've gone for Alex Iwobi on the left, Richarlison on the right, and Moise Kean up top. For me, do not mess with that front three, do not change it. Alex Iwobi was fantastic, Moise Kean was dangerous, and Richarlison got the goal that he desperately needed towards the end of the game. And what a fantastic finish as well. Obviously, the stuff on social media this week's been largely to do with his celebration and stuff like that, but let's just take a minute to have a look at that finish. It's an unbelievable header. It's an unbelievable cross by Luca Dean, and it's an absolutely fantastic header by Richarlison. And for me, like I said, it's a little bit difficult at the minute because I sat here, and I'm not going to lie, football changes and you contradict yourself constantly, but I sat here before the Lincoln game and said Richarlison needs to come out, he needs a rest, he needs at least until the international break to sit back and, recuperate and have a little bit of a rest because of the busy summer that he's had with Brazil. Obviously, he started against Lincoln again. You were sitting there for a large part of the game thinking, is he fit? Is he, at his fitness levels where he should be? But never really wanted to sit there and think, well, maybe it's just a confidence issue. Maybe the lad just needs to get on the score sheet. Maybe he just needs to start scoring goals and then he'll start to come out of shell a little bit more. Obviously, he was desperate for a goal on Wednesday night. He got that, an absolutely fantastic head and a fantastic finish. And maybe that's what he needed. Maybe his fitness is as good as can be. And, like I said, Marco Silva's watching him in training every single day. Luis Boamorte's watching him in training every single day. Richarlison knows himself as well, so he must be fit, otherwise they wouldn't be playing him. They'd be bringing Theo Walcott in, they'd be bringing Bernard in, so he must be deeming himself, and Marco Silva must be deeming him fit enough to play, at least a good 70-80 minutes. Obviously, he played 90 against Lincoln, 90 plus. And maybe it was just a confidence issue and maybe he just needed that goal. And for me, if that's the case, then he stays in there because, again, like I said, out of the wingers that we've got, out of the attacking players that we've got even, I do think he's the best player that we've got currently in the squad in terms of going forward, attacking-wise. Obviously, we'll see how Alex Iwobi and Moise Kean progress, but I think it's far too early to judge them. And in terms of goal-scoring ability, I don't think there's anyone else in the squad with an ability like Richarlison. So for me, listen, I think he should start. If it's a confidence issue, then like I said, he'll have taken a lot of confidence from Wednesday night's game, taken a lot of confidence from the goal. If it's a fitness issue, then we'll see that from the off. It won't take us long to realise if it is a fitness issue. We'll notice that within the first 15-20 minutes of the game. But for me, I think, like I said, that goal on Wednesday night will give him heaps of confidence, and he's got the quality to score at any given point in a game of football. And I think he should play, and I think the rest of the other two should play as well. I don't think he should tinker with the front three because I think they were absolutely fantastic on Wednesday night. Like I said, Richarlison was slightly quiet but scored a fantastic goal. Alex Iwobi was unbelievable, creating opportunities for himself. Obviously had that opportunity earlier on in the game where he struck it straight at the goalkeeper, but he was constantly running, he was constantly pressuring, he was constantly working his arse off, and then of course got his all-deserved goal towards the end of the game as well, after a fantastic cutback by Cenk Tosun, and he gets a really good head on it. In terms of Moise Kean, every time I see Moise Kean on the ball, it just excites me, and he hasn't scored for Everton yet, so maybe I am just getting a little bit too ahead of myself, and I probably am. Listen, I probably am just getting a little bit too made up with Moise Kean, but every time I see him on the ball, I just think he's going to do something here. He's going to rip the defender to bits, he's going to get in the box, he's going to put a good ball in, and I'm basing that off what I've seen so far. I've seen him against Crystal Palace, obviously, come on, was absolutely fantastic. Was it Palace or Watford? One of the two he come on and it was absolutely unbelievable. Even, against Aston Villa, of course, last Friday, setting up a fantastic opportunity for Theo Walcott. I just think he's a level ahead of a lot of players his age in terms of his football and brain and his football and ability. Obviously, he's got all the talent in the world, he's got all the quality, and I just think for Moise Kean now, he just needs to continue playing games of football. He needs to continue to have that trust in him by Marco Silva, and he needs to carry on playing how he's playing, because obviously he's very unlucky to not get a goal on Wednesday night. Absolutely twatted the post with an effort, and I just think that the more he plays, the more confident he's going to get, and the more we're going to see how good of a footballer he is. And for me, I'm just excited every time I see him, sort of, whether he's coming off the bench or whether he's in the starting 11. I just get excited every time he picks the ball up. I think he's going to do something with this now, and I think obviously the more training he has, the more he gains in terms of fitness, and obviously the more he starts to get used to the system and fitting into the system. I just think we've got a genuinely quality player on our hands, and for me, I'd keep that front three, because I think Iwobi was fantastic on Wednesday, I think Keane was fantastic, and I think Richarlison got the all-important goal he needed as well, and I think that's probably the most dangerous front three that we could be looking at the minute. Let me know your thoughts on my predicted starting 11, of course. If you disagree, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're watching live, let me know your thoughts live. If you're watching as a YouTube video, leave them in the YouTube comments, and I'll be replying to those as well. If you disagree, let me know who you disagree with. Who would you play instead? Of course, it is a fan channel. It's about everybody's opinion, not only mine, so it'll be really interesting to hear what you guys have to say. Where are we in the live comments? Mitchell says, talking to Jeff, yeah, lad, I follow Opta Stats too, but also Dean is elite. Jan Valery for the Saints will do unbelievable numbers in the LFC squad. It's a fact that Dean hasn't got M and F's. I assume that's Mane. Firmino and Salah next to him. Yeah, and Jeff says, fair enough, we can agree to disagree. I'm certainly not disrespectful of Robinson, who is class. Fair enough. Listen, that's what we are, Evertonians. We're a fan base that can sit there, have a good, footballing conversation, have a good footballing argument, and then go, you know what, fair enough, agree to disagree, let's move on. That's what we've got as a fan base. We're not stupid, we're not clouded, we understand football, and that's where I'm coming from with the Luka Dean arguments and situation. I understand that. And Andy Robinson's a really good footballer, but for me, I just think Luka Dean's better in terms of, taking them both out of a squad and putting them into a squad that hasn't got, a boss defence like we have at the minute, or hasn't got a boss attack like Liverpool have, and putting them into, the same squad and seeing how they do. But we can have that conversation, we can have that discussion, we can agree to disagree, and we can move on, and that's why, the Everton family is so unbelievable, in my opinion, that we can do that, because there'll be a lot of fan bases that would just be absolutely ripping each other in the comments because they can't agree on a point. Hadrat says maybe in the second half of the season might change formation then. Maybe he will. I dare say it's probably something he's going to look at throughout the entirety of the season. Obviously, injuries, suspensions and things will come into play when discussing changing the formation. But Marco Silva will go with what's working, and if it's not working, he'll change it. And, we may see 4-4-2 at some point. We may see Cenk Tosun being, in the starting 11 at some point. Who knows? Mitchell said, Jeff, glad to have a reasonable discussion, mate. Agree to disagree, and Jeff puts thumbs up. Exactly, spot on. Hazard says, my dog could set up Liverpool to score. Yeah, there you go. And Jeff says, we're both lucky to have having such good players. Spot on. Hazard says, but I wouldn't let her play for them. And Jeff says, now, Haz, let's be friendly. And Hazard says, lol, all good banter. Yeah, definitely is. Jeff says, no, you're not. Cam Keane is definitely going to be world class at speed, movement, skill, and awareness at a level above. Exactly, and that's what I'm going off. I'm not just going off the fact that, he looks boss, and he took one player on and he hit the post. I'm going off his overall game. We've spent the last couple of games watching Moise Keane's movement, watching his ability off the ball. He was playing off the shoulder on Wednesday night, and for me, the only negative, and it's not even his fault that I'd have to say, is he's having to come forward to the midfield and to the defence to pick the ball up to then take it backwards. I would like players to target that, and I would like players to play the ball directly to him so he doesn't have to make that movement forward. But that's not his fault, of course. But yeah, listen, he's spot on. His movement, his speed and his skill and his awareness are all absolutely unbelievable for a player of his age. Hazard says, yes, definitely. Hopefully you can see Keane celebrate a goal tomorrow as well. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Mitchell says, agreed, he is certainly going to be world class, going to be frightening when he catches up. I agree, Mitchell. Jeff says, and he's got the same hunger as Richarlison, who's almost desperate to score with being too passive for too long. Exactly, and that's something else I picked up on Wednesday. That both players are desperate to get in the right position. They're desperate to score goals, and that's only going to benefit Everton Football Club, isn't it? Jonathan says, once Gabamon gets fully fit and used to the league, we've got another centre-back cover. We will be a force. Yeah, hopefully. Steve says, Cam, you're not thinking about Cenk anymore. I'm just playing for the final 20 minutes or something like that. Yeah, listen, we spoke about Cenk earlier on in the stream. I don't think he's good enough to play from the start because I don't think he fits into our system. But I 100% agree, Steve. I think he's more than good enough to come off the bench. And I think he does provide an attacking presence when he's on the football pitch, and he proved that on Wednesday night, obviously, with that assist for Alex Iwobi. So I'd definitely be having him on the bench with the idea of bringing him on with the last 20 minutes, half an hour of a football game, and I'll be doing it tomorrow as well, because he quite clearly offers us something. I just don't think he's good enough from the start. Good source says, it'd be great to get a win tomorrow, would give us massive confidence boost going into the international break. Spot on. Jeff says, some players just have this thing about them, and you can tell immediately that they're different. Mitchell, exciting time from Merseyside. Spot on. Mitchell says, Moise Keane is undoubtedly the best young talent in the world beyond Felix, who signed for Atletico Madrid, but doubt he's a young talent anymore when you get 100 million paid for you. Exactly. Good point, Mitchell. Good point. Jeff says, nice to hear from you, Mitchell. I'm obviously biased, so it's good to hear your unbiased view, but he's really, really exciting. Exactly. Listen, we're all biased, aren't we? We're all Evertonians. We all hate Liverpool. Liverpool hate Everton, and we'll never change that, but we can sit here and we can have a footballing conversation, and that's the good thing. Jonathan says, I'd send DCL to the German League for 2 years at least. Maybe a loan move for Dominic Calvert-Lewin at some point would benefit him, but I don't think we've got the squad size, and I don't think we're at we're in the right situation now to be sending a player like Dominic Calvert-Lewin out on loan, because again, I do think he could offer us something to the squad, and we haven't got a genuinely massive squad that would allow us to send a player like Dom out on loan this season. But anyway, yeah, that's my live game preview. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, please do leave a like on the stream if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new as well. So close to 800 subscribers. Share the stream with your friends. Share the stream with your family. Let everybody know about it. I'd be really appreciative of that one. If you're watching the YouTube video as well, like I said, leave your thoughts in the YouTube comments and I'll be going through them and replying to those as well. But for me, listen, tomorrow's a big game for Everton. Wolves are a decent side. They're a really good side. Obviously, they've got some exciting talent in the likes of Ruben Neves, João Moutinho, who's good and experienced as well. Obviously, Jota, and they've got some decent players going forward as well. So it's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. We've seen how they turned up last season at Goodison Park and absolutely played us off the park. So we need to be at 150%, if not 200%, and we need to be going out there and proving that we are the better team. And in my opinion, we are, but that might just be because I'm a biased Evertonian, but it's a big chance to prove it tomorrow. It's a massive game for both sides, a massive 3 points on the line for both sides, and it's now time for us to go out there and prove that we are the best of the rest, and we've got a really good opportunity to do that tomorrow against the decent Wolves sides. Obviously, we've got the advantage with it being at Goodison Park, we just need to make sure that we're creating as much opportunities as possible, and that we're putting them away as well. And I think having the likes of Alex Iwobi, Moise Keane, and Richarlison as your front three, I think that gives us as good of opportunity as any to do that. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Please do leave a like if you have enjoyed. Jeff says no, it's too late for a loan for him, it's sink or swim time. Fair enough. Good Soul says nice one, Cam. Nice one, Good Soul. And Jeff says cheers, Cam. Laters, everyone. Thank you very much, Jeff, and thanks to everybody else as well. Don't forget to join me for my instant match reaction tomorrow after the game, of course. Hopefully it's a positive one, and hopefully we're talking about another 3 points. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed the stream, and subscribe if you're new as well. Hazrat says good live seeing Cam. Cheers, had a laugh, lol, 100% onwards and upwards up the Everton toffee. Spot on, mate, and thank you very much for getting involved in the live comments, and thanks to everybody else as well. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's team. Massive thank you for watching. Please do leave a like if you have enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.